Welcome to Season 3, Episode 2 of the Growth Cycle of Intimate Relationships, the Gestational Period. Love is so powerful and desired by all. It can control the actions of an individual to the point that the person may take life simply because the individual can't receive it. It amazes me that people don't want to hear that God is love. In 1 Corinthians, the 13th chapter defines love. Yet people blame love when their lustful choices cause them pain. As stated in the last episode, God doesn't promise us a companion. It is our choice. He would rather us remain untouched, single, and worship Him for our lifetime, fulfilling the purpose of why He created us. If you make the choice to have a life companion, you must marry the individual so that you don't fornicate and also to procreate or have kids. These are the simple reasons for marriage. Man has desecrated and exploited both love and marriage. But I'm here to set the record straight by discussing the growth cycle of intimate relationships over the next few episodes. Let's begin by saying alone doesn't mean lonely. When you are single, you are supposed to utilize that time to focus on you and God. You should be fixing all of you so that if a relationship or temptation comes your way, you are ready for battle. Ever since childhood, we were taught that getting a husband or becoming a wife was the goal for a woman. And in some cases, and in some countries and culture, if you didn't get married, you were considered a old maid or like something's wrong with you. And I'm here to tell you, there's nothing wrong with you. If you choose not to be married, that is your prerogative. But don't allow yourself to be run through like a community project because you choosing not to be married and you're like, I'm just gonna do whatever I want to because you're opening yourself up to various spirits every time you have sex with someone. See, a lot of times people like to think that sex is just sex, but it's not. Sex is a gateway. It's a gateway to your soul. It's a gateway to hell. It could be a lot of different gateways, but you are opening yourself up when you have sex with someone because when you are having what they call like orgasms and stuff like that, depending on where you go, it's like an out of body experience. Now, y'all keep in mind we're adults here, so we're gonna talk some. So I'm speaking to adults. I'm not speaking to little kids or anything like that where you be like, oh my God, she's talking about orgasms, this, that, and the other. Look, this is a real podcast with real topics. And so we talk about some real stuff, and I appreciate all of you guys that are my listeners. Before I go any further, I've been traveling all various states, so I do apologize for the delay in the podcast, but I do have a regular job outside of this job, and well, this isn't a job. This is actually what I do as my leisure because I just love to help people. But life was lifing. But I've got some good information to bring back to you guys. I hope you utilize it, share it, and apply it. Like, I don't get on here for no reason sharing parts of my life just so I can feel good. Oh my goodness. No. The whole purpose of this podcast is to give you some drop some jewels in your life, but to help you prepare for battle or for war because every single day there is a spiritual warfare over who you are, over your mind, your body, your soul. And I want you to be strong. I want you to be strong. But getting back to what I was saying, orgasms take you on I'll say on a spiritual plane because it's like an out of body experience. So every time you having sex with somebody, you're allowing them to invade your person and you're creating a soul tie with that individual. We are in a hypersexual society, and what people don't realize is in this hypersexual society, they're like, you could do whatever you want. It don't matter if you have sex on the first date, blah, 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 blah. It does matter. It does matter because you are creating a soul tie with an individual that you don't know. You may be thinking, I'm so happy, I'm great, this, that, and the other. You have sex with somebody, all of a sudden you feel depressed. Their demons leaped. Whether or not you believe in spirits, they believe in you. Whether or not you believe in good and evil believe in you. So you can trick yourself all you want to. Whether or not you believe it, that's on you. But just know we all have the same ending. Everybody dies and everybody is born. But I know growing up, people made it seem like being a wife was the ultimate thing, or being a husband was the ultimate thing. But one of the things that I have been learning since I have been getting closer to God, and I tell y'all in a minute, God know I'm a work in progress, honey. I try to tell y'all I'm a work in progress. But the Bible is very interesting because it's some things in the Bible that I've never heard anybody really preach about. My pastor now, he preaches about things that I've never heard before, and he also teaches. And so it doesn't seem boring. It actually applies to real life. And sometimes when reading the Bible, it gets a little bit scary because the things that's in there that were in the past actually occur now. But growing up, I don't know about you guys, but we were never taught that basically a female was born a wife. And like, what do you mean? Well, you ever hear that scripture where people talk about the bride of Christ, the bride of Christ? Well, at the same time, you know, if we follow God's law the way that it's supposed to be, technically we wouldn't be touched until after we get married, you know, simply because our bodies belong to God prior to us gaining a wife or a husband. This for men and women alike. That's the correct order of the way that it's supposed to be. But again, man has come up with his own ideology of relationships and found a way to exploit them. You know, but as I stated, ever since childhood, we were taught that getting a husband or becoming a wife was the goal for a woman or a man. But we're never taught that a female was born a wife to God, born a wife, and man is only permitted to have us through marriage. A woman's worth has been reduced down to almost nothing. In the past, if she didn't have a man, you didn't have status. A woman is a man's rib and helpmeet, or companion. As a result of men and women losing their way, intimate relationships are not aligned with God's word, and neither are we. Sin always seems so much easier and fun until it's time to reap the consequences of our actions. A bad relationship is a consequence of our own choices. God showed us signs through others, but we wanted to give into our lust and our heart's desire. Prior to getting in a relationship, I need you to remember that you need to be one whole and the second one healed. This is very important because just like God knows your heart's desires, when you announce them, the devil does too. We can't see spirits through the naked eye. Remember, bad things also come wrapped in beautiful packages. I don't care how much you think you know an individual. Knowing them truly is a lifelong journey because that person is continuously evolving or becoming them. You must decide whether or not you are willing to chain yourself to the baggage of that individual's life. Everyone comes with baggage, but you have to determine if their baggage is manageable, and you need to know whether or not your baggage is under control. I've learned so much throughout my life that has shown me that people will go through great lengths to create an illusion or a mirage of their character and hide who they really are. Being lonely, whew, being lonely will make you overlook the individual flaws and get you connected to a lifetime of disappointment, hurt, and pain. Look at the heart and spirit of that person. Observe the individual with others. How does that person interact with their family? If that person's like, I don't mess with my family, I don't blah, 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 why? Why? If this person consistently is in and out of relationships, why? Are you asking them, before sleeping with them, are you going to the clinic to get this person checked? Don't trust people with your life to tell you the truth. Trust them to be who they are, which is human and imperfect. You can't control an individual's actions, but you can control how you respond. Okay, we'll give an example. You got Johnny Jew and you got Sally Sue. Johnny Jew be like, Sally Sue, you look so good, girl. Just stand there and Sally Sue like, hey boy, yeah, uh-huh, blah blah blah. Sally Sue and Johnny Jew, they decide they want to have sex. Well, neither one of them took the time out to learn about each other's sexual history or anything like that. And one of them gives each other a STD unknowingly because they didn't take the time out to care for themselves. And that's a part of that being single. That means you going to the doctor too, checking out yourself, mind, body, and soul, so that when you get into a relationship that you don't hurt another person. Because you can't tell me that you love or care about somebody if you intentionally deceive a person. That's not love. That's deception. Take the time to know the individual as much as possible before having sex or getting married. See, people have taken down the value of an individual's body, but your body is your person. And when you have sex with someone, that's a very intimate act. And in God's eyes, that's consummating a marriage. That's how even though people sign a piece of paper, the marriage itself is not consummated until sex, where the two become one. So even though you're not married, every time you have sex with an individual, you are joining your spirit with that person. So if you're having sex with multiple people, then all of a sudden you feel drained. That's because you are connected by soul ties to all of these individuals. And you need to fix that. And you're not strong enough to do it by yourself, because a soul tie is on a spiritual plane, it's on a spiritual level. You had their demons leap and jump on you. You may not have been a person that's depressed, but all of a sudden you feel depressed. You may not have been a person that's been suicidal, but all of a sudden you feel suicidal. Those demons that you're having or facing are not yours. They are from that person you had sex with. So y'all need to be careful, because your body is your temple. Be careful who you let in your temple, because they may leave behind something that you might not be able to shake, especially if you're not spiritually ready for it. People have lost their lives because they failed to allow the necessary time to discover the identity of their partner. In the gestational stage, everyone has their best foot forward. We usually say things like the past doesn't matter, or tell the individual everything we desire from a partner. Big mistake. Ask questions and be transparent. An individual could have brought you AIDS from a past relationship, but you chose to not ask questions. If you catch AIDS because you didn't ask questions, that is not their fault. That is your fault, because they're going to say to you, you didn't ask. And because they were hurt by somebody else, they don't care about hurting anyone else. Hurt people hurt people. This is your life and your body. If you decide to move forward with this individual, it could alter the lives of you, others, and your future children. What if the woman or man is a child molester and had a name change or a sex change? You have no clue who you're dealing with. You may think you're dealing with Rock of Ages and it's really Blue Moon. So here you are dealing with here you go again. You're dealing with a stranger. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I'm gonna be honest with you. I do a background check. I do. You tell me your name is this. I pay the money and I do a background check because at the end of the day, this is my life. This is my life, and I need to know who I'm dealing with. Some people may feel like it's extreme, but I'm sorry. I've seen people in situations lose their life because they don't know who the heck they're dealing with. And I'm going to tell you now, if you're talking about giving your social security number out to somebody, disclosing your innermost personal thoughts and everything else, you better do the homework on that person before releasing that information. Because in this day and age of social media, you've got people that will be so bad and so um, vindictive that they will put your personal information on social media. And once it's out there, it's out there. So again, be careful. It is worth taking the time to truly know your partner. You must protect your mind, your body, and soul. The full development of creating a baby for a human is 40 weeks. How can you say that you truly know this individual when creating a life takes almost an entire year? But yet, after 2 days, you in the bed with them. In 2 days, you have already allowed this person to come into your very most intimate space. And when you have unprotected sex with them, you have said, I trust you with my life, which is a very foolish decision. Because if you don't catch an STD, you can get pregnant. Now you're bringing in a child that in a loveless relationship. Or then that decision could take you down a rabbit hole or having to get an abortion or put that child up for adoption just because you made a careless choice. It wasn't a mistake. It was what you wanted to do during the time that you did it. See, with me, I'm about accountability. I don't let you have excuses about your life and what you say. I didn't mean to do it, this, that, and the other. No, you. That's like I tell people when you cheat. You just slipped up into a vagina? No. You just slipped and you just sat on a penis? No. You made a choice and you made a decision. So I need us to be accountable to make better choices and better decisions before getting in any type of relationship so that it doesn't affect someone's life long term. And if you know you're not serious about a person and you have ill intentions, shame on you. Don't do that to someone. You got to remember when you get into a relationship and when you fail to do the research, you are giving up all your information to a stranger based on how they made you feel in that moment. Emotions will mess you up. I need you all to be conscious of your situation and your surroundings and realizing that everything that look good ain't good for you. And keep in mind, I'm guilty of playing the fool too in situations like this. It almost cost me my freedom, meaning I almost did 10 years in prison for something I didn't do behind not knowing someone. Almost cost me my sanity and almost cost me my life in several situations. One being my mate the person I with pulled a gun on me. Come on now, because I didn't know this individual in the mental state of this person. This is some real stuff I'm telling y'all from my own experiences. How to save yourself. God showed me all kinds of signs, y'all. But because I was in a place of loneliness and because I was in a place of hurt and pain and I was seeking love in all the wrong places when God was with me the whole time. I am pleading with you to stop allowing yourself to be so vulnerable that you ignore the signs that could save your life. Give yourself the love that you seek, or you will set yourself up to be hurt. Even the best relationships take work. But you don't want to be deceived simply because you are lonely or rushed into a a toxic situation. Finding your life partner is a beautiful thing. But if you find yourself getting married multiple times and running in and out of relationships, you need to seek God to receive the love that you are missing. I ask God to hide my heart so far in Him that a man must seek Him to obtain it. God has equipped me for war at this point. My cutoff game is strong. My peace of mind and my heart is where He dwells in me. Should either become disturbed or out of balance, I will cut off anything and anyone to ensure that I have God. Ever since I made this my mindset, I don't cry like I used to or feel defeated. I always know that I am enough, and if He removes anyone from my life, it was only to protect me because He can see and hear things which I cannot. Be advised, if you are in year one of your relationship, take the time to learn if the love interest you seek is really for you. Are they worth giving up your peace of mind? It is not your job to heal their brokenness. A broken person will break you. Be careful. I'm speaking to all of you guys that's out here that's empaths. I'm just too nice. I'm just too this. And this is not just in your intimate relationships, in other relationships too. I need all of you that are empaths to realize something, that you have got to set healthy boundaries and learn the power of saying no. You cannot give from your pitcher. You can only give from your overflow. Because if you don't have something pouring something into you, eventually you're going to be drained. You're going to lose everything. And then that person that has been taking from you will not be there because they don't know how to be there for you. See, your picture may be tall and full to give to everybody, but some people only have a cup full of love, or that's all they got. Okay, so you need to know who you're dealing with and stop thinking that everybody loves like you or cares like you. Okay, you have to set boundaries because takers don't have any. A taker does not have any, and they're not remorseful for taking from you. So let's stop playing stupid. Let's stop being dumb. Do not give away what you can't afford to give away. Okay? Let's stop doing that. Sometimes you got to set that negativity odometer in the course of a day, because that's what I have. That if I there's only so much negativity that I'm going to allow in my life in a day. And if somebody calls me with something tragic or something like that, only thing I could tell them is I'll pray for you and we can talk about it tomorrow, because I can't take no more today. That's the boundary that I have, and I suggest you get yourself one too. But as I stated before, be advised, if you're in year one of your relationship, take the time to learn if the love interest you seek is really for you. Again, are they worth giving up your peace of mind? Again, remember, it's not your job to heal their brokenness. I meant what I said. A broken person will break you. You got to be careful. It is easy for a narcissistic person to walk into your life and destroy you if you do not know who you are or know how to love yourself. Even the Bible tells you, love thy neighbor as thyself. Prior to jumping into a relationship, you need to do the work. You need to work on you. You need to do an honest assessment of you and look at every piece of you from childhood on up. Are you healed? Or have you suppressed the things that have happened to you? Go to therapy if need be. There are so many doctors, psychiatrists, and psychologists. Me, I recommend you go to a psychologist first because it's no medication is involved. And then that psychologist will make an assessment to determine whether or not you need to go to a psychiatrist to add medication in. But you need to be accountable. And if you did something wrong, be accountable. Own up to it. God will forgive you for anything except blaspheming against the Holy Ghost. Good luck on that. That's an unforgivable sin. So I'm just letting y'all know. Everything else is forgivable, but blaspheming against the Holy Ghost, Nope. You will remain unforgiving on that one, so be careful. All right. Prior to jumping into a relationship, work on you, as I stated before. During this time, you may have avoided several heartbreaks because you're like, I ain't got no man, this, that, and the other, but you've been working on you. You've been happy. You've been taking trips, all this other stuff. You could have been in a relationship with good old Bill, and Bill could have been out there with Sally Sue, J. Cole, Tupac, and everybody else, and could have brought you back a disease. But because you chose to work on you, you avoided those situations. And somebody that chose to deal with them are dealing with those. During this time, you know, you've got to remember that happiness is a choice, and you deserve to be happy. Your happiness doesn't lie in a companion, it is in you. Again, choose to be happy. God gives you free will. It's up to you. If I had taken the time to learn the men in my past in year one, I wouldn't have suffered the consequences or the pain and heartbreak over the years. God helped me unlock my power. I have reclaimed my power, and I hope that today I helped you reclaim your power from any and everything that stole it from you. Don't let the pressure from others to be in a relationship cause you to choose a lifetime of pain. Until next time, be intentional on focusing on God in you. Life is short. Stop wasting time on people, places, and things which do not concern you. You are enough, and you are purposed for greatness. Dust off your crown and make life happen. And finally, remember this. The opinions of other people about you are technically none of your business. Okay? So let's stop allowing people to control our emotions simply because we're wondering what they think of us. They aren't God. Remember that. They aren't God. And you need to have peace with that. There's over 7 billion people in this world. Why are you going to let the opinion of one affect your entire life? It's time to be the difference. It's time to be a light. It's time for you to rise to the occasion of showing up for you in your life so that you can show up for others in their life, so that we all can make a positive impact. On today, October 30th, 2023, we are all prioritizing peace for our prosperity and longevity. God bless.